Have you ever questioned why gang violence is so prevalent in the United States? It's an unsettling reality that we grapple with as headlines blare out tales of senseless violence and communities torn apart. This disturbing pattern isn't a random occurrence, but a deeply rooted issue that has, over the years, taken a firm hold on the fabric of American society. Imagine this. Every year, thousands of lives are lost to gang violence, and countless others are forever scarred by its aftermath. Communities live in perpetual fear, their peace shattered by the constant threat of aggression. The ripple effect of this violence extends far beyond the immediate victims, affecting families, friends, and entire neighborhoods. The impact of gang violence on society is staggering. It undermines the stability of communities, contributes to the cycle of poverty, and perpetuates a culture of fear and distrust. To understand this phenomenon, we need to delve into its history. Gang violence didn't just appear overnight, it has a deep-rooted history. As we delve into the origins of gang violence in the United States, we must make a journey back in time to the 19th century. This era, filled with turbulence and transformation, also saw the rise of the first organized gangs in America. These early groups, the 40 Thieves in New York and the Plug Uglies in Baltimore, emerged not out of a desire for power or control, but from a place of necessity and survival. The formation of these early gangs was often a direct response to the harsh realities of life for many in the burgeoning cities. Faced with poverty, discrimination, and a lack of social services, these individuals found solace and protection within the collective. A gang became a pseudo-family, offering a sense of belonging, a form of social support, albeit one that often operated outside the law. In the absence of viable options for economic advancement, these groups turned to criminal activities to survive. They became involved in theft, bootlegging, and other illicit trades. Their activities, however, were not just about survival. They were also a form of rebellion, a way to assert their identity and to challenge the social order that marginalized them. The evolution of these early gangs was further fueled by the waves of immigrants who arrived on American shores. Each new group brought their own cultural norms, conflicts, and rivalries, contributing to the escalating tension and violence. This intermingling of cultures, coupled with the harsh socio-economic conditions, created a potent mix that further entrenched gang culture. From Irish to Italian, from African American to Latino, each wave of immigration added a new layer to the complex tapestry of gang culture in America. And with each layer, the violence escalated, the stakes got higher, and the gangs became more entrenched in the fabric of society. From these humble and often desperate beginnings, gang violence in the United States was born. The roots of this issue run deep, intertwined with the very development of the nation itself. It's a complex problem with no easy solutions, but understanding its origins is the first step towards addressing it. As the decades passed, gang violence began to evolve and expand. The 20th century saw the birth of many gangs, but their nature was fundamentally different from what we see today. Initially, gangs were often formed as self-protection groups within immigrant communities, and their activities were primarily confined to their own neighborhoods. As the years went by, these gangs began to grow in size and power. They expanded their territories and became more organized. This growth was fueled by a variety of factors. Economic hardship and social inequality often played a role, but so too did the allure of power, respect, and financial gain. Around the mid-20th century, we started to see a significant shift in gang activities. They moved beyond their community boundaries and started engaging in more serious criminal activities. Drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, these became the new norm for many gangs. This shift was not without its impact on society. Neighborhoods were torn apart by violence and fear, and the very fabric of communities started to unravel. The public outcry was immense, and the authorities were pressured into taking action. But the evolution of gang violence didn't stop there. With the dawn of the 21st century, gangs began to exploit new opportunities provided by technology. Cybercrime, identity theft, online drug trafficking, these are just some of the ways gangs have adapted to the digital age. Today, gang violence is a complex and multifaceted issue. It's not just about physical violence anymore. It's about economic exploitation, social disruption, and the erosion of law and order. The influence of gangs has permeated every layer of society, from the streets of our cities to the corridors of power. They've become an insidious part of our culture, their symbols and codes seeping into our music, our movies, and our fashion. This evolution has led us to the current state of gang violence in America. And it's clear that this is an issue that will continue to evolve, demanding our constant vigilance and action. The war on gangs is a continuous battle waged not only by law enforcement but by communities as well. Gang violence, a menacing spectre that haunts our streets, is not an enemy to be vanquished by brute force alone. It demands a concerted effort from all corners of society, a symphony of strategies, if you will. The frontline combatants in this war are, of course, our law enforcement agencies. With an arsenal of tactics at their disposal, they delve into the heart of the issue, targeting the supply and demand side of the criminal economy. They employ a variety of strategies, from aggressive patrols in hotspots to the implementation of programs that focus on the prevention of gang membership among at-risk youths. These programs aim to provide alternatives to gang life, offering opportunities for education and employment, and fostering a sense of belonging outside of the gang culture. Yet the war on gangs is not fought by law enforcement alone. Communities play a critical role in this battle. They are the eyes and ears on the ground, the first line of defense. Community members armed with the intimate knowledge of their neighborhoods work in tandem with law enforcement to identify potential gang activities. They also take part in community outreach programs, providing support to those affected by gang violence and helping to steer susceptible individuals away from the path of gang involvement. Despite numerous successes, however, the war is far from won. Law enforcement faces constant challenges in their fight against gangs. Gangs evolve, adapt, and find new ways to proliferate. They exploit loopholes in the law and take advantage of the vulnerable. Communities too grapple with the aftermath of gang violence, the fear and the trauma that seeps into everyday life. Yet, the fight continues. Every day, brave men and women in uniform and out face this adversary head-on, working tirelessly to reclaim their neighborhoods, their cities, and their lives from the grip of gang violence. Despite these efforts, the war on gangs is far from over. So, where does the future of gang violence in America stand? As we delve into the potential future of this unsettling issue, we must consider multiple factors. One potential future sees the escalation of gang violence, fueled by socio-economic disparities and systemic issues. However, this is not a future we must accept as inevitable. There are possible solutions, some of which are already being explored. Community involvement is key. Neighborhoods, schools, and local organizations can play a crucial role in curbing gang violence by providing youth with positive alternatives and resources. After all, when young people have access to education, job opportunities, and supportive networks, they're less likely to be drawn into gang life. Then we must look at policy changes. Reforming the criminal justice system is essential to address the root causes of gang violence. A focus on rehabilitation over punishment, particularly for young offenders, might be a step in the right direction. Implementing policies that address poverty and inequality could also help prevent the formation and growth of gangs. Moreover, collaboration between law enforcement agencies and community organizations can lead to more effective strategies for preventing and addressing gang violence. The future of gang violence in America is uncertain. However, if we consider these potential solutions, if we work together as communities and if we push for the necessary changes in policy, we might just be able to change the trajectory. The future of gang violence in America is uncertain, but with informed action, there is hope. So, what have we uncovered in our exploration of gang violence in the United States? In essence, we've unearthed a tapestry of complex issues woven together by strands of history, socio-economic factors, and evolving power dynamics. From the origins of gang violence, we've seen how societal structures and economic disparity have contributed towards their formation. The evolution of gang violence has mirrored the changes in our society, becoming more sophisticated and dangerous as time passes. The current state of gang violence is a grim reflection of systemic issues that persist today. Despite the best efforts of law enforcement, the war on gangs continues, with each victory often offset by new challenges. It's a constant battle where every step forward is met with an equally strong pushback. Looking towards the future, the landscape of gang violence is uncertain. What we do know, however, is that it's unlikely to simply vanish overnight. It will require persistent, focused efforts from all corners of society to make a significant dent in this issue. This includes not just law enforcement, but also education, community development, and social services. While the road to curbing gang violence may be long and winding, understanding its history and its implications is the first step in the right direction. In this journey, awareness and education are our most potent weapons. Let's use them wisely and fight for a future where every street is safe.